Welcome. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. I'm Dr. Ronnie, and what I will do is I'll be guiding you through a grace meditation this morning. So I invite each of you to find a comfortable position in your body. If you're seated in your chair, place your feet flat on the floor. Allow your spine to elongate and find harmony between being alert and being relaxed. You can choose to close your eyes or cast them down. It is your choice. So for the first few minutes, we just want you to find a deep place and a comfortable place in your body. Now I invite you to begin taking a few long, deep breaths. In and out. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And just keep breathing, thinking about the grace that we're granted each morning. We are able to take a breath. We know that God's grace is living through and as us in each moment. So we just want to keep breathing. So what I would do is for each letter of grace, I'm going to invite you to just think about a term that really thinks of grace, that really reflects grace. So the G for grace today in this meditation is gathering your attention. So if you think of grace, you just want to gather your attention to the present moment and place your attention on your breath. As you focus on your breath, you may want to just bring an image to your mind. Focus your attention either on the image or on a sound. But you want to have a way to just gather your attention. Be present, because grace lives in the moment, and we want to just be present to the moment and make sure your attention is gathered in this space, at this time, in this moment. So as we live and have our being in grace, we know that it requires us to gather ourselves, to gather all elements and parts of ourselves, to be present in the moment. Because we are one whole being, we want to just allow our attention to be gathered around this moment and in this space. Take a deep breath and be fully present. Now we're going to move to the R in grace. Next, we'll move to R. In this moment, I invite you to recall an intention. Recall an intention of why you're here. Maybe your intention is just to be open. It may just be to allow yourself to be fully present. Your intention may be to set up your listening for the sermon today. But we just want you to recall an intention that can drive you as you participate in today's sermon. So whatever your intention is, I invite you to recall it now. Allow that intention to be like seeds that you're planting in the soil, waiting to be fertilized. Because we know that our intention, what our thoughts, our feelings, our actions are, what we intend are like the seeds that are planted into the divine consciousness and are going to be created in our experience. So we just recall our intention for being here today. Now, as you recall and set this intention for today, we just allow each of us to just release it, let it go. Because we know, just like with the creative process, when we plant a seed and we allow it to flourish into the soil of our own consciousness, the soil of the law, it will manifest as our experience. So we just allow that intention to be present for us. So now that we've gathered our attention, we've gathered our attention and we are set in our intention. Next, we want to go to attuning to ourselves and others. So the A represents attuning to ourselves and others. First, let's focus on attuning to ourselves by taking a moment to do a brief body scan, checking in with the body. How is it feeling? Where do you notice any sensations, or do you notice none at all? See if you can notice the type of sensations that might be present in your body. Notice if there's tightness, tingling, neutrality. Notice where the sensations are in your body. And just attune to yourself in this moment. So a key component of graceful living is gathering your attention, recognizing your intention, and now attuning to yourself, to your body, to your space. And then the next step we're going to take is attuning in with others. We want to experience ourselves being interconnected to each and every person that is not only in this meditation, but who's a member of CSL Greater Baltimore, for which we're about to participate. Attune into you being a critical part of the planet, of the world, of the space, and just see yourself tuned in to your own body, to your own space, and to that of others that you join with. It is important for us to attune to ourselves and then to make sure that our presence is fully there with whoever we interact with today. We want to be fully attuned as an act of grace. And so in this moment, as you attune into yourself, the space, and others, bring awareness to that space, to the space between yourself and others, knowing that that is sacred ground. It is an act of grace to attune in to you and to others. Now we move to the C in grace. What this C represents is considering what and who we are in service to, and reminding ourselves that we are here to serve not only those around us, but consider that our presence serves the world. So we invite you to consider, what is it that you would love to serve and bring forward, not only in this day, in this session, but also as you move through the world. One of the greatest gifts that you can give is your service. And service is not just what you do. Service is the energy you bring to a space, the consciousness you bring to a space, the intention you bring to a space. All of this is of service. So as you think of grace, think of considering who and what you want to serve in any space that you are part of. Now that you are clear what it is you're here to serve, you've considered it, you've brought it present. What else might be needed to support you at being your very best? As you serve, I invite you to consider being your very best at any moment in your service to yourself and to those around you. And E stands for ending the engagement, being ethical. Ethical ending an engagement is thinking about, how can you end every engagement that you have today with some kind of reflection? How did you serve? How did your presence make a difference? You want to end your space. Anytime you leave a space, you want to just be aware and end that engagement with love, sending light. Being ethical in each of your experiences, whether they're virtual or in person. Bring to mind at least one wise action you can take as you engage today, as you engage with each other. Take a deep breath. Stay in that comfortable position. Be fully aware. You are the grace of God in this moment. Your attention is gathered. Your intention is recognized. You are attuned into yourself and others. You are a fully tuned instrument of the divine. You are serving, you are considering that your space and place is always to serve. So consider in each moment, how can I serve? How can I bring a higher vibration to the space? And then you want to end each engagement with some kind of action, some kind of reflection that allows you to be fully with and present. Remember, as you move through today, God's grace is present in, through, and as us in each moment. We just want to attune to it, be interested in it, knowing that we are in a space and we are there to serve not only ourselves, but others. We are the divine grace present and moving and having its being. And I just invite each of us to remember that for this coming sermon, for this, how we participate today. Think of grace as the ever-givingness of spirit in this moment. And all it requires is you to bring yourself forward and present. So think of grace, gather your attention, recognize your intention, attune to your own space and your own body. Consider what you're there to serve, who you're there to serve, and engage in a way that elevates the vibration of the space. And in every engagement today, with an acknowledgement of the grace that is present in each and every moment. Taking a deep breath in and out, begin to feel your feet on the floor. and your body in the chair. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Become fully aware. Open your eyes, become fully aware. Just for the next few minutes as you awaken, just stand in the grace, knowing that grace is the ever-givingness of God to its creation. And because you are a magnificent element of that creation, grace is always present. And so it is.
All you need to know is you're safe again. Life is caring for all. Feel the ground beneath your feet again. Each step is taking you home. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust you feel inside. Home to the basic trust in life. All you need to know is you're free again. Life will carry you on. Put a smile onto your face again. Each breath is taking you home. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust you feel inside. Home to the basic trust in life. Ooh. All you need to know is you're safe again. Life is caring for all. Feel the ground beneath your feet again. Each step is taking you home. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust you feel inside. Home to the basic trust in life. Home to the trust in life. Home to the basic na 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 na. Your basic trust in life. Na 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 na. Basic trust in life.
Whew. Good morning and happy Sunday. In order to help with our method of recording service, we request that congregants and participants who are not speaking, performing, or interpreting to please turn cameras off until after service. At that time, all can come on camera to fellowship and share the love. Thank you for your cooperation. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Senior Minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is our speaker today. Our musician is Sahffi Lynne. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Ashlee Goldman and Dedra Wilcher. Holding things down, working behind the scenes is Jim Lefter. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you all for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Dr. Ronnie Ellington, mathematics education professor, inspirational speaker, and STEM education scholar and mentor. Dr. Ronnie has spent the last 18 years cultivating herself as a teacher, speaker, scholar, and personal development expert. Trained as a mathematics educator, Dr. Ronnie has authored several scholarly articles on STEM education, parental involvement, and successfully navigating the STEM pipeline, particularly for minority students. Dr. Ellington is a leading expert on how to cultivate students' success in mathematics and STEM-related disciplines. As a licensed practitioner, she is committed to bringing this teaching to the masses through teaching and is extremely grateful to serve this community in whatever way is aligned with her spiritual mission.
Welcome, everyone. I'm just so grateful and thankful for another opportunity to just be present and alive. And so as we open this session, this day, the spiritual CSL Greater Baltimore spiritual community, I just invite each of us to just know and be present to we are one. And as we open this session, this day, that oneness permeates everything that we do, everything that we live in this moment, because the idea that we are separate is an illusion. So we know that we are grounding in this oneness, and we know that we are all about a world that works for all. And so in that space, we just say, we open this session. We know that divine spirit is with each of us. We ask that we listen with an attuneness, with a grace that allows us to get exactly what we're here to get and give exactly what we're here to give. Because we know the law of circulation says that we're giving and receiving all the time. So again, as we begin this session, as we begin this day, we are just present to the ever givingness of God, which is grace. Grace is not something that's just granted on us. We are its grace. We are grace. We are graceful. We are present. And we are here to not only heal whatever there is with each of us individually, but collectively. But in fact, there is nothing to heal, only the truth to be revealed. So the truth will be revealed during this session today. And we will embody more and more of that truth. And we just invite spirit to guide our thoughts, our words, our deeds, and in our oneness. We are healed. Welcome. Welcome.
And so it is. Thank you, Dr. Ronnie. The Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. Time for announcements. We currently have 3 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On the first and third Monday nights, the Sacred Contracts Book Club, hosted by Nancy Rosenberg. On Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group and the Thursday night study group facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter, the CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages, and get more news and information by visiting cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com. Courageous Conversations. The CSLGB C7 Core will have group and panel discussions with Q's and A's to encourage open, honest, and authentic dialogues regarding topics such as race, gender, and being LGBTQ. If you are interested in more information about this, contact Reverend Dr. Ray. If this fundraising vision inspires you and you are interested in serving on the fundraising committee in any way possible, contact the chair, Rainica Permaletta, and come together to strategize the most effective ways to manifest funding. To get more information, meeting dates and time, and join the committee, send an email to rainica.permaletta@gmail.com. Here at CSLGB, where every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday, did you know it's also become a member Sunday? That's right. Every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is offered online and can be taken at any time. For more information on how to become a member or what comes after the discovery class, visit the website or send an email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or visit the website for more information on becoming a member of CSLGB. Welcome home. The CSLGB Ministry of Education has an upcoming class. Jesus, the man, myth, Messiah, and metaphysical master and mystery. Whew. The class will explore who and what Jesus is to us today. Is he a historical person who actually lived? If so, what is the impact on this on us today? What is the impact of this on us today? The facilitator is Reverend Dr. Ray. The class is tentatively scheduled for January 2022. The investment is a love offering. If interested, contact Tracy Rhymes. For the full class descriptions and more information, you are encouraged to visit the website cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com to find more educational opportunities in ours and other communities we are partnered with. If you would like to receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspirations. You will be glad you did. Okay. On the count of 3, we shout prayer works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Prayer works. Woo! That was loud. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Sahffi Lynne is an international singer, songwriter, and vocal coach whose mission is to offer her music and teachings as medicine to open and connect our collective heart. Her spirit-inspired performances and channeled original songs have taken her melodies around the world, and her own vocal ladder method of teaching singing has lifted her students' voices and souls. Sign up for monthly emails from Sahffi on her website, sahffi.com. or subscribe to her YouTube channel for weekly new videos. Just search Sahffi. And Sahffi's new album, Pulse Evolution, is out. Visit sahffi.bandcamp.com. I give you Sahffi.
Thank you so much, Tracy. It's great to see you. Great to be here with you and Reverend Dr. Ronnie. I definitely feel like this is home, so thank you. And thanks for shouting out about the new album, Pulse of Evolution. This next song is on it. Pulse of Evolution is a medicine music meditation for the 7 chakras. And this song, we focus on the third eye. So we can look at all the colors of love with the third eye. You came here to live, love, and laugh. Remember your soul, not your past. You can't start from nothing. What you learn is what you get. Even when you can't see, there's a big world turning round you and me. You'll see it all if you open your heart and be the colors of love. The red sky above, bluebirds, yellow seas, purple moons, orange trees, rainbows of love for you and me. Be grateful for what you've been given. So many love and cherish you. And when you're lost, just open your heart and see the colors of love. The red sky above, bluebirds, yellow seas, purple moons, orange trees, rainbows of love. You don't need the answers. You don't even need to believe. Just look all around you. Find your colors in the breeze, yeah. The colors of love. The colors of love. The red sky above, bluebirds, yellow seas, purple moons, orange trees, rainbows of love, the colors of love, the red sky above, bluebirds, yellow seas, purple moons, orange trees, rainbows of love for you and me.
I'm not going to sing this time. Aha. That was beautiful, Sahffi. Thank you. Okay. All right. Dr. Ronnie returns to lead us in a spiritual practice.
Thank you, Tracy. So as I was sitting with the theme for today, I really thought about what would make the most difference as we reflect on grace and beauty. And I thought of just a mind treatment around embodying the ever-givenness of God as grace. So the in-service spiritual practice will be a spiritual mind treatment. And the purpose is for us to evoke the grace and guidance of the Spirit that is us and as us, and that we actually live that this day. So I will be going through a spiritual mind treatment focused on grace. I recognize that God's grace is always present. The ever-givingness of Spirit is always here and now in this moment. And I recognize that the beauty of God is always here. And it is in that recognition that I become one, that we become one with the grace, the ever-givingness of Spirit. In this moment, we are one with that grace, that beauty, the beauty of life, the beauty of love, the beauty of God, knowing that as we stand and unite with the principle of grace, we are fully fulfilled in this moment. So anything that we are looking for outside of ourselves to fulfill us, whether it be approval from others, whether it be food, whether it be any kind of substance, we know that Spirit is our substance, and we affirm and recognize that in the Spirit of grace, we are fulfilled. In the Spirit of grace, we are love. We know that all of our needs are provided for. We are abundantly provided for in this moment because grace is the ever-givingness of God, and we are unique and divine expressions of that God and that grace. So we affirm and declare that all that we do is graceful. All that we are is a contribution. We are just grateful and thankful for that. And so in this mind treatment, we say, grace is our birthright. It is not something that is granted to others and given arbitrarily. It is the ever-givingness of Spirit to its creation. And so we affirm and declare that we are living and breathing in that grace. And we just give thanks. We give thanks for all of the people that are in this session with us, in this class, in this space. And we are just so grateful and thankful for the grace that is being bestowed on each and every one of us in this moment. The beauty of the creation. We give thanks for our ability to see more and more of that beauty and to experience more and more of that grace as our capacity to experience love and fulfillment evolves in this moment. We are just so grateful and thankful for our experience of grace. We are just so grateful because we know that our words are being cultivated into the soil of consciousness, of our collective consciousness. So we are invited to release this prayer into the divine law of grace, the divine law of circulation, knowing that we have planted seeds of grace and they are being returned to us tenfold. So we release this prayer knowing that it is done. We are experiencing the life of grace, and we are seeing through the eyes of beauty in a greater and deeper capacity. And we are just so grateful and thankful for this day. And so it is.
Thank you, Dr. Ronnie. Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. I give you Reverend Dr. Ray.
Thank you, Tracy Rhymes.
You're welcome.
You're so appreciated
Aw, really? You appreciate me?
today. You took me to the store to get dessert yesterday. That was so graceful and wonderful of you.
Considering I wouldn't let you have any.
While I was
Years ago.
recuperating.
Yes.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore, beloved community, family. So how is everybody doing today? Type in the chat and let me know what's up, what's going on in your world. How are you? So today we are diving into this idea of, as Dr. Ronnie has mentioned several times and Sahffi sang about, like we're diving into this idea of beauty and grace. In this thing that we call life, this adventure, this journey, how often do we really pause to appreciate what that even means? So today, as the description says, we take yet another sacred pause to appreciate the beauty, grace, and the feeling tone of the presence of spirit as us. We recognize that each point along this journey has brought us beautifully to this place of awakened grace. Breathe in the view. So when we talk about beauty and grace, like what are they? What is it? And not just what are they, because it's real easy to describe or define, go to the dictionary or the thesaurus and find multiple words that mean the same thing. But how do we practice them is more importantly. Like that's the major thing, is how do we practice it? Because Tracy, when you were growing up, did you have to pray before you ate?
No.
Okay.
Yes, the wrong person.
That didn't work.
Yes, I did.
Take two, Tracy.
Stacy.
When you were growing up, did you have friends that had to pray before they ate? Never mind. When I was a child, I was taught that you're supposed to pray before you eat. And this prayer before you ate was called saying grace. Tracy's over there whispering. I don't know if y'all hear, God is grace. God is grace. Okay, so if we can say grace, like that's something we can say, then does that also mean we can do grace? We can be grace? So how do we practice them? How do we embody them? How do we recognize that both grace and beauty are simply other words that describe the ineffable, that which can be called by many names, because that which is the infinite I am, spirit, source, God, the universe. What it is must be beauty itself. And what it must be is grace itself. And if each of us is an individualized expression of it, then does that not also mean that what it is as beauty and grace must also be incarnating itself as us and in us and through us? Michael Singer says, when you walk through a beautiful botanical garden, you feel open and light. You feel love. You see beauty. You don't judge the shape and placement of every leaf, unless you're Tracy Rhymes. So you don't judge what you see in the botanical garden. You simply take it in. So what is this actually saying, though? You don't judge the shape and placement of every leaf, but how often do we judge? How often have we been taught to judge, to criticize, being mindful that it's precisely that judgment that shuts off our ability to recognize the truth of our being as beauty and grace. Judging is easy. Offering grace is more challenging, simply because we practice one of these more often and the other less often. So pause. And when we say breathe in the view and ask, do I judge rather than see beauty? Do I judge rather than being and seeing and experiencing grace? Is my judgment cutting off my ability to see, experience, and be more beautiful and graceful? Dennis Merritt Jones says, grace is the givingness of spirit to its creation, the logical result of the correct acceptance of life and a correct relationship to the spirit. If God is all there is, does it make sense that that which it is would ever give less of itself to itself? Grace is the givingness of spirit to itself as all of creation, because there is no separate spirit and creation, because all of creation is what God is. Everything is made in the image and likeness of that which is all there is. So does it make sense that God, source spirit, would give Tracy more grace and me less? Makes no sense. So if I'm experiencing less grace than Tracy, why would that be? Is it because I judge more and forgive less and criticize more and condemn more and breathe in the view less? Grace is the givingness eternally of spirit to itself. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, in the book The Cost of Discipleship, says, by judging others, we blind ourselves to our own evil and to the grace which others are just as entitled to as we are. Now, we're getting ready to do a remix because this idea of we blind ourselves is steeped in the concept of ableism. So the remix of this is, by judging others, we deny ourselves the opportunity to heal our own mistakes, and we deny the giving and receiving of grace, which others are just as entitled to as we are. So the judging of others is denying ourselves and others the opportunity. Now, how is this denying others? If I'm judging, if I'm the one that's judging, how am I denying Tracy anything? I'm denying Tracy the opportunity for me to be the vehicle by which she experiences grace from me, from God as me to God as her. I'm denying her the opportunity to experience that connection. By judging others, we deny ourselves the opportunity to heal. Now, how would that be? What did Dr. Ronnie say earlier? There's nothing that needs to be healed. Oh, what else did she say? Truth to be revealed. By judging others, we deny ourselves the opportunity to be steeped in truth, thereby healing whatever is going on in our lives. Now, check this out though, because sometimes we get so stubborn that we got to do the, Tracy's telling me, so Ray, you do realize, we do what now they're the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. But what if it's I refuse to hear the truth? Because we know that there are folks who you tell them and they're like, no, that's not me. They refuse to hear the truth. There are those who refuse to see the truth. There are those who refuse to speak the truth. Now, once again, in order to not be steeped in ableism, rather than hearing and seeing and speaking, simply, what is this thing? There are some of us who refuse to stand in, to be steeped in the consciousness of truth, to know the truth. There are some who refuse. Why? Because judging makes us stubborn. Judging makes us get into this idea of, I have to be right. Now, what is that? What is that phrase? There's a quote, and I may be misquoting it, but it says something, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Would you rather be free or would you rather be right? Because there are some who their determination to be right means that they're going to refuse to know the truth, to be steeped in the truth, to be grounded and anchored in the truth. Breathe in the view. Eric Butterworth says, the word grace means favor. Now pause, because you know how I love some words. Tracy, can you do me a favor? Right? Catch that. She's saying no. Let us pray. Can you do me a favor? Pause. That is my favorite. Catch the root word, favorite. What does it mean to have someone's favor? The word grace means favor. Why are you favored as a child of God? Simply because you are the activity of God expressing itself as you. Once again, why would God, Spirit Source, deny itself any of what it is to any of its expressions? So what it is, you are. Where in your life today are you denying yourself the opportunity to feel favor? Do you feel like you are your own favorite person? You know how we used to say, or some people say, are you your own best friend? Or are you someone who you can't stand being around? Like, how do you experience grace if you don't like you? If you don't find favor within yourself? Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, for his heart was in his work, and the heart giveth grace unto every art. For his heart was in his work. Now, what is your work? What is the thing that you are here to do? What is mine to do? What is your work? What is your way of being of service and in service? What is it that you are here in this life to do? Whatever that is, moment by moment, because we're not talking about an overarching, this is my work. This is what I am. No, we're not talking about that thing. We're talking about in this moment, my work is to cook dinner. In this moment, my work is to advance slides. Thank you, Tracy. Whatever is that work in that moment, is your heart in it? And is your heart giving grace unto every art? There's a samurai maxim by karate master Gogen Yamaguchi. Pause and let the interpreter spell that. Yamaguchi. One who has attained mastery of an art reveals it in their every action. If you have mastered grace, you will reveal it in your every action. If you have mastered beauty, you will reveal it in your every action. If you have mastered the opening of and aligning of your chakras, you will reveal it in your every action. One who has attained mastery. And let us be mindful that mastery is not the end all be all. Sensei Gogen was a black belt master. But does that mean I've gotten my black belt, I'm done, I need not do this ever again? No, because the black belt is simply a marking point that says you have this amount of knowledge. Now empty your cup and learn more, practice more. So true mastery is recognizing the infinite and eternal process of Kaizen, Kaizen, the ever-going process of self-improvement, embodying, aligning, attuning, being present. So Kent M. Keith wrote a book called The Paradoxical Commandments. You familiar with them?
No.
Thank you, Tracy.
Right, so I
appreciate that. So appreciate that. So the Paradoxical Commandments, y'all need to pray for me. Just to let you know a couple of them. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. Catch where this is going. There are going to be those who judge you. Be graceful anyway. There are those who are going to judge you. Be beautiful anyway. There are those who are going to be God anyway. Speak truth anyway. Live truthfully anyway. Give the world the best you have, according to him, and get kicked in the teeth. Ain't getting kicked in the teeth. Get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. Yeah, I hear where he's going. Not on my watch. But the idea is there are going to be those in the world who do not see your magnificence and are unable to see their own. See it, be it, embody it, attune to it, open it, ground with it, whatever words work for you anyway. Be unconditional in your grace, be unconditional in your truth, be unconditional in your love. Unconditional love is absent of judgment or expectation or criticism. Unconditional love and grace and beauty and joy is the sun. Unconditional love is like the sun. The sun doesn't, there's a passage in the Bible that says the sun shines on and it rains on both sinner and saint alike. Those who know and those who don't know. Be like the sun. Shine your light regardless. Be graceful regardless. Do what you are here to do regardless. Elie Wiesel says, for me, every hour is grace. Now, why would he say that? Because being in Hitler's Germany in a concentration camp, moment by moment, step by step, journey by journey, simply this moment, this meal, I find grace. Simply this breeze on this hot day, I find grace. I feel the eternal givingness of spirit to itself. Once again, Dietrich says, we must be ready to allow ourselves to be interrupted by God. Now, what does that mean? Simply pause and allow grace to interrupt the pattern of, allow beauty to interrupt the pattern of, allow our holiness to interrupt the pattern of. The pattern of what? The pattern of evil, the pattern of judgment, the pattern of same old, business as usual, whatever that pattern is, allow ourselves to be interrupted. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a message of truth. Allow ourselves to be interrupted. There's a television show that Tracy and I watch on television called The Equalizer. Just emphasizing it's not the film, it's television, starring Queen Latifah. And we just saw an episode recently where there was an incident where this woman in the store wanted the robe that Aunt Vi was pulling off the shelf. And so this woman chose to weaponize her whiteness. And Dee, Queen Latifah's daughter, Aunt Vi's great niece, is filming the whole thing. And after the police come, and the police want Aunt Vi to apologize till they see the video, and then they ask the woman to apologize, to which she does reluctantly. But my point is, when Aunt Vi and Dee and Queen Latifah were having conversation in the kitchen that evening, Aunt Vi says something powerful. It's not about that woman today. It's about a lifetime of this, just a million little cuts, a million little cuts of bias, racism, sexism, homophobia, a million little cuts of Islamophobia and xenophobia, a million little cuts of us versus them, a million little cuts of I'm not good enough, a million little cuts of you'll never be good enough. Whatever the million little cuts are. Because we turn on the news on any given day, we remember this story where the woman does the exact same thing. She weaponizes on the same day that George Floyd is murdered. And yet this gentleman, Christian Cooper, afforded this woman, Amy Cooper, grace. Now, whether we find the space to do that or not, it's not the field of our conversation right now. The point is, coming back to when things happen in life, the news and whatever is going on, our own lives and whatever is going on, and there's a pattern of a million little cuts, a million experiences of trauma, a million reminders of, are we willing to let the pattern be interrupted and find grace every hour? To allow that to be our experience, beauty every hour. Once again, Dietrich Bonhoeffer says, we pray for the big things and forget to give thanks for the ordinary, small, and yet really not small gifts. That's grace, where we are able to find beauty and see beauty and be grateful in all things, no matter where we go, no matter where we find ourselves. So when walking through the streets of Baltimore, when walking through the streets of DC, when walking through Philadelphia, when walking through wherever it is we find ourselves, are we able and willing to be attuned to the channel of grace and beauty unconditionally? Are we willing to allow this energy of spirit to be what it is everywhere? Francis Bacon says, beauty itself is but the sensible image of the infinite. So if God is the infinite and it is everywhere, then it is possible to find beauty everywhere. Now we're going to say something a little bit more about that in a moment, but simply in this moment, let's be aware, do we have terms and conditions as to why we will not love, grace, beauty, forgiveness? What are the terms and conditions that we will not allow ourselves to have access to any of this, to see the fullness of, to experience the fullness of. You said, what was that? I have no idea. I heard it too. I don't know what it was. What are the terms and conditions that we are denying ourselves the ability and the willingness to align, to embody, to evoke love, grace, beauty, and forgiveness? There's a, well, before I get to this, let us be clear that there is righteous judgment where we are discerning. And then there is the ego judgment. That's good, that's bad. You're nice, you're not, you're ugly. That's right. But righteous judgment gives us the ability to discern between that kind of judgment and the other, between wisdom and righteous judgment. Gives us the ability to also be mindful of the passage in the Bible that says, be grateful in all things. It doesn't say be grateful for all things. There's a difference. Righteous judgment gives us the opportunity to say, I understand that I am not going to be grateful for George Floyd being murdered. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm not going to be grateful for the million little cuts. But am I able to find the space within the infinite as it is expressing itself in me? Am I able to find and open to that space of still finding joy and gratitude and love? Breathe in the view. So in CSL, part of the global vision as it relates to today's topic says, we envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. And remember what we said before, the person who has attained mastery of an art, the art of life, the art of love, the art of embodying the divine, whatever that art is and however it shows up, that person reveals it in their every action. Are you ready? Are we ready to renew our emphasis on experiencing and being the very power and presence of grace? Because if we're embodying it, then we are grace, spirit, giving unto itself everywhere we go, to everyone we meet. Breathe in the view. So this week's practice or opportunity to practice starts off with journal and consider, who or what do I consider beautiful? Are there specific people that I consider beautiful? Poetry or art, music or food that I consider beautiful? What is it about that person or that poetry or that music or that whatever that is? What is it about it that I find beauty? But recognizing that the only reason I can find beauty in it or in anything is because it is what I am. What has grace meant to you over the years? Words change, meaning changes, consciousness changes as we change. If it has changed, in what way and why has it changed? You know, when I was 5, the word grace simply meant God is good, God is great. Let us thank him for our plate. Amen. Bless the cook, bless the food. Thank God Almighty. Now it's good, whatever. So when I was young, grace meant that. But then as I got older, grace meant something else. And then as I got older, grace meant something. Now where I am now. So be mindful. What has it meant to you over the years? How has it changed? What unnecessary conditions do I place upon various people, events, etc. in my life, including those that I place upon myself? What unnecessary judgments, what unnecessary hoops must be jumped through in order for there to be grace and beauty and unconditional love? And then lastly, have a conversation with 4 people about what might change if you were to freely express and practice beauty and grace, especially at the most difficult times of life? What might change? And today's declaration and affirmation, I will say it first, and then if you feel aligned with it, repeat it with me the second time around. I appreciate the beauty and grace that dwells throughout all of creation, and this includes my own beauty and grace. Together, I appreciate the beauty and grace that dwells throughout all of creation, and this includes my own beauty and grace. Breathe, breathe in that view. This includes my own beauty and grace. And in breathing that in, we recognize and understand that this also includes the personification of beauty and grace as our beloved Sahffi, who is about to take the stage once again and grace us with her favor, and her beauty. Thank you, Sahffi. Much love.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Ray. It's so great to see you and hear you. Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for the earth, for the days yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life, for the days yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Remember why you came here. Remember your life is sacred. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, 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 ay. Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for the earth, for the days yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life, for the ones yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Remember why you came here. Remember this life is sacred. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Woo! Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Ay, ay, ay. dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life, for the ones yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song.
Thank you, Sahffi. Beautiful as always. So we breathe in the divine grace of this moment and recognize that at this time of service, we anchor and ground into the practice of tithing, offering, donating, as Tracy says, to keep the lights on because CSL Greater Baltimore is a business, and to also tithe into where you feel spiritually fed, uplifted, supported, and nurtured. So for those who may be new this week, know that the practitioner core of CSL Greater Baltimore, on top of their regularly scheduled weekly tithes, also has pledged $25,000 by the end of the year. As of the end of October, that number is $14,710. The community's matching pledge also that's funny to you? She's laughing at me. The community's matching pledge on top of their regularly scheduled weekly tithes as of 10/27 is $27.50. Breathe. Because this is now your opportunity to tithe of your time, talent, and treasure. How do you do so? You have three options: PayPal, text to give, postal mail service. Did you know that you can divide a portion of your tithe for a variety of things, such as 25% to emergency care, 25% to compassionate care, 25% to education, 25% to music? Like, you could divide it if you so chose, or simply allow the Board of Trustees to steward and do what they do by knowing the right and perfect way to balance and manage so that we have the greatest impact in the greater Baltimore area and beyond. Note that I said beyond. If you want to have more information, get more information, know more about how do I do this, where do I tithe, where's this information? Go to the website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give, or reach out and email any one of the Board of Trustees for more information. Now, recognizing that financial, because that's this time of service, financial giving, but we understand that it's not just about the dollars and cents, it's about being the embodiment of health, wealth, opulence, abundance. So we understand that we have an abundance of health and joy and love. We are prosperous in our grace and beauty. We are opulent in the way that we love unconditionally. And this declaration, while being stated for financial wealth and abundance, applies to all of the ways that God is showing up in, through, and as us. So if you are in alignment with this, then let's say it together. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe in the view. And while you're breathing in the view, breathe in the view of being an awesome being. Being the presence of awesomeness. breathe in the view. And as you breathe that in, I'm not even going to say anything right now. And as you breathe that in, just go out in the world and be the embodiment of that. Because once again, as Dr. Ronnie said, there's nothing that needs to be healed, only truth to be revealed. And that truth is grace, love, power, and presence. It is all the things that principle is. So awesomeness, be that truth in the world today, and notice how things shift. Breathe. Oh, did you know, speaking of Dr. Ronnie, or as Sahffi said, Reverend Dr. Ronnie, wink, wink. No comment, because I know she's giving me that look right now. Did you know that you can get one-on-one time with Dr. Ronnie today, giving her the opportunity to know the truth about you and your life? And let's remind ourselves that prayer isn't just about when something's going wrong and we want something to be right. Prayer can also be a time when things are going great and you want them to be even greater. Things are good and you want them to be gooder.
Yes, gooder.
Be gooder.
Be gooder.
I'm the gooderest.
I'm the gooderest.
Can you tell?
Can you tell?
So we breathe. So if you want prayer with Dr. Ronnie, type the word prayer in the chat box and Tracy will make sure that she will break you out into a breakout session with Dr. Ronnie so you can get prayer. And right after the benediction, Tracy will open up the communication line so you can say hello and greetings and do all that stuff that we lovingly do as a community. But in this moment of this thing we call benediction, we recognize that while this moment of service comes to an end, that thing called spirit, that thing called the universe continues to be in service, of service, as God acts upon itself. There is only that which is the infinite, forever and ever and eternally acting upon itself. These words, spirit acting upon itself. Dr. Ronnie's pre-service meditation, spirit acting upon itself. Sahffi's music, spirit acting upon itself. The interpreters signing, spirit acting upon itself. Each and every person who has typed the word in the chat box, each person behind the scenes helping to make things run and flow, everybody who is present, whether you are watching or listening or viewing this on YouTube later, nonetheless, the eternal now, right here, present, spirit, source, God, the universe, is infinitely acting upon itself, and it is good. Good and awesome and powerful. And that is what we anchor into as we end this thing called Sunday service. We allow the grace, the beauty, and the love that is spirit to continue to serve even after, and even after, as each moment of the pattern is interrupted by spirit, anchoring and grounding in love and grace, our awesomeness and our beauty. We simply say, amen. And so it is. Love you all.